Hi, friends, and welcome back to the ICW Exchange, otherwise known as the Illinois Child Welfare Exchange. I'm your host, Jocelyn Fenning, and I'm really happy you're here with me today. This is our second episode in what I'm calling Big Sister Talks. Last time we talked about a pretty heavy topic loss, because loss weaves its way through every single experience in the child welfare system. Even when you're not expecting it, it sneaks up on you. It's everywhere, and it's hard to avoid. Now, not every conversation in this series will be that heavy, but there are a few things that I've wanted to get off my chest, and this feels like the right space to do that. Maybe some of you are listening and thinking, yes, I know exactly what she means. And maybe some of you are listening and thinking, she totally missed the mark. Either way, I hope these talks offer a sense of support, or at least some understanding, for anyone who's lived the child welfare experience. Because it's not an easy thing to explain, and that can feel really isolating. You're not alone in that. Before we dive in, I want to set the stage like I did last time. If you can, take a moment to prepare yourself mentally. This might be a difficult conversation, both for me to share and for some of you to hear. Whether you've lived this experience or you just empathize deeply, it might bring up some heavy feelings. So cozy up and get comfortable, and I promise my next Big Sister talk will be a little lighter. But today, I want to acknowledge something big. I've spent so much time trying to better the outside world's perception of child welfare. I've done it by joining organizations, graduating from school, continuing my education, and in so many different ways. But it seems like every time I reach a milestone or overcome a big obstacle, people tend to see less and less of how I got there. They don't always see the experiences that shape me. And don't get me wrong, I know I come across as a strong and independent lady. I am one, but there is still a part of me, that little girl, who feels frustrated because it feels like I don't get the same breaks that others do. Like there's no room for error or mistakes. In foster care, mistakes are seen as weaknesses, as laziness, failure, proof that I am just another statistic. I didn't want that to be my story. As the oldest of three who came into the system, I wanted to show my I wanted to show my siblings that these experiences didn't have to define what we could achieve. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to exceed expectations. And sure, that drive was motivating. It gave me confidence, but it also left me exhausted. Because when is it my turn to take a break? Foster care feels like an endless race. Obstacle after obstacle and milestone after milestone with no real finish line. Even when you quote unquote make it, the road just keeps going. And honestly, I'm tired. I just want to rest, to breathe, and to have fun without constantly thinking about my next goal or next thing that I need to achieve. That's really what I want to talk about, that feeling of running a race that never ends, while trying to remember to slow down and appreciate how far I've actually come. People don't say this enough, but every single day you wake up and choose to keep living, that's an achievement. Because foster care is one of the hardest things a person can go through. It doesn't matter whether you were adopted or in guardianship, or even if you aged out like I did, it's still incredibly hard. Losing your family, no matter what the family looked like or how imperfect it was, is devastating. The separation from people you were bonded to, from your own blood, is a deep psychological wound. And surviving that, choosing to keep living, that deserves credit. Sometimes people tell me they're proud of me, and I appreciate it. But part of me thinks, you have no idea what it took to get here. Because every milestone I've reached came with a cost. I had to suppress pain, grief, anger, just to make it to the next step. And unless you've lived it, you can't really understand that kind of fight. Everyone faces hardship, of course, but foster care takes something extra from you because it hits you during your most vulnerable years, when your brain is still developing. You're forced to normalize the unimaginable, and no one gives you credit for that. I know I didn't give myself credit for that. And that's really hard. So if no one else has told you this, I want you to hear it from me. Every single day you choose to stay on this earth, that's an act of strength. You are resilient and you are powerful. You took a set of circumstances that were designed to break you, and you made something beautiful from them. You turned pain into purpose, and you made gold out of dust. Whether you're working, in school, learning a trade, volunteering, or just getting through the day, that's worth celebrating. Because a lot of people could never do what you did. So I see you, and I love you. If all you did today was get out of bed, you still achieved something. Give yourself credit for not becoming everything you could have become. Give yourself permission to rest. Take a walk. Turn off your phone. The world won't end if you don't answer that text. You've overcome so much, and you deserve to acknowledge that. Pat yourself on the back. Breathe. You've earned it. And that's all I have today for today's Big Sister Talk. Join me next time on the Illinois Child Welfare Exchange. And remember, give yourself credit. Because even if no one else acknowledges it, you owe that to yourself. I love you so much. Until next time.